Today on our 2018 Ford Focus, you're going to be taking a look at, I'm going to show you how to install the Roadmaster Easy 4 base plate kit with removable arms. Part number RM-524443-4.
This is what our base plate looks like when it's installed. It's going to be one of 5 main components in a flat toe setup. The other 4 are going to be your safety cables, your tow bar, your wiring, and your braking system. Your base plate is going to give you a solid connection point between your RV and your Ford to safely flat tow your vehicle. Our base plate is going to be compatible with quick disconnects and all Roadmaster tow bars. It is going to come with removable arms. You simply pull the spring-loaded pin, twist, and remove. When not in use, it maintains a nice clean look on the front of the vehicle. When you're ready to use it, the pin is going to go on the notch side, so you know which side you have the correct way. You're going to push it against the base plate, twist it until it locks into place. Your base plate does come with a quick disconnect bar. It simply drops into place, and it's going to come with 2 snap rings to hold it in place. Simply slide the arm to the inside of the bracket, line up the holes, slide your pin through, snap the ring over. These are going to be our safety cable hookups. Make for easy connection. It's also going to have 2 rods to attach our 6-volt plug for our diode wiring. As far as the installation goes, it is time consuming. Front fascia does have to come off, and there's quite a few parts that have to be installed. Other than that, it's pretty straightforward. You will have to drill a few holes, but there is no welding required. It will come with all the necessary parts. First thing we need to do to start our installation is we're going to be removing our fascia. To start that, we're going to remove a couple of push-pin fasteners and some T30 Torx head screws up here on the top side under the hood. For a push pin, you can use a flathead screwdriver. I'm going to use a trim panel tool. We'll pry out the center. If it separates, no big deal. Just make sure you pull out the base with it. You can always put the 2 back together. We're going to have a second one on this side. Take a T30 Torx bit. We're going to have 1 bolt here. We're actually going to have one on driver's side and passenger side. Go ahead and remove those. We'll have a black one here in the center. We're going to have a Torx head bolt on each side, right next to our stop here. Next thing we're going to do is we need to remove the headlights. We're going to have 2 T30 Torx bits or Torx head screws, one on the lower side of the light and one on the upper side of the light. Go ahead and remove those. We'll disconnect the lights and we'll set our lights aside. You're going to have a little tab here. What you're going to do is you're going to pull up on it like this and slide it off. And we'll set the light aside. Then we're going to repeat the same process on the other light. Next, we're going to take a T27 Torx bit. We're going to have a Torx head bolt here, Torx head bolt here. Then we'll take our trim panel tool or screwdriver, and we're going to have a plastic fastener we need to remove here. We're going to do that on both sides of the vehicle. Underneath the vehicle, or underneath our front fascia, we're going to have plastic push-pin fasteners. We're going to have 3 on our driver's side and 3 on our passenger's side. We'll just remove those the same way we did the ones from the top. Next, we want to pry our hood latch cable out of the holder. That. And we're going to remove the cable. Now with the next set of hands, we're going to pull our fascia off. We're going to start from the outside and work our way in. There's going to be a little tab here down underneath where your headlight was. Make sure you pull up on that as you start pulling it off. And then we'll set our fascia aside somewhere safe. We'll take our T30 Torx bit. We're gonna have 2 screws holding this underliner here to our splash guard. Go ahead and remove those, and you're gonna have 2 on the opposite side of the vehicle also. Next, we have 2 options here. This lower louvered air dam here, we can either cut out a big notch here or a big opening here and then cut these out, or there's 2 T30 Torx screws. There's one here and there's one here. We can just remove the whole thing, which is what I'm going to do. If you decide to cut it, just follow the directions on what lines to cut it on. All you're going to do is you're going to slide this little tab to the center, and you're just going to push down on the back side to release it. And we'll take our T30 Torx bit. We're going to have a Torx head bolt on this bottom liner right here towards the lower side of the engine compartment. We'll have one on each side. Then we'll remove our liner and set it aside. Next, on our passenger side, we're going to remove our washer bottle. 10mm socket, we're going to have a bolt here, we're going to have a bolt on the back side. You may need to use a swivel to get this one because our fender liner does not go in far enough. We're going to go ahead and unplug our wiring because we are going to be removing this all the way. One here, that one right back here. Once you take the bolts out of your washer bottle, in the directions they're going to tell you, take it off, dump it out, and refill it later to move it away from the frame. What I did is the filler neck will actually come off right here. I dropped the bottle down, left it connected, and just raise it up. You can see how I have it here and just ran a zip tie, just hold it in place. Next, we're going to take a 10mm socket. On our passenger side, we're going to remove the horn. Some vehicle models may have a horn on the driver's side. It also needs to be removed. Take the bolt out. We'll slide the horn off. On the passenger side only, this tab here that we had our washer bottle mounted to, we need to take that, we need to fold it down flat. I'm just going to use some channel locks. They actually tell you to cut out a circle here with a hole saw bit. These frames are pretty strong, so use a Dremel tool with a cutting blade is what I'm going to use, and I'm actually just going to cut a square. What we're trying to do is open a hole to the center of our frame rail because we're going to have to put in some handle nuts to get to our bolt. So again, you can see how I have marked out here. We're going to go ahead and cut that out. Once you have them cut out, we're going to take some Rust-Oleum paint, cover up that bare metal to resist any rust or corrosion later on down the road. On our driver's side, we need to disconnect the fastener holding our wire loom to the side of our frame rail. We'll just use our trim panel tool. We'll pop it out. Next, we're going to take our brace. Here on our driver's side, how you know you have the right one, these 3 holes are going to be on the outside of the frame rail, and this angle is going to face towards the back. So it's actually going to slide just like this. And it should line up with the 3 holes. We're going to take our 3/8 by 1¼ bolts, and we're going to temporarily slide them in the outermost holes. Then we're going to take a 3rd one. We're going to put red Loctite. We want to make sure we're using red Loctite on all of our hardware. We're going to put on a lock washer. We're going to slide this into the
center hole. And we're going to take the nut plate. We're going to go through the hole in the frame that we cut. We're going to line it up with that center bolt. We'll thread on that backing plate. And we'll go ahead and remove these two that we had temporarily. Make sure you have a lock washer on. Go ahead and put your Loctite on. And you're just going to repeat the same thing with the next two bolts. Next, we're going to take this plate, this nut plate, you can see how it's offset. We're going to slide it into the hole, and there's a hole right down inside in the bottom of our brace, and it's right over on this side. We're going to line up the hole. We're going to take a 1/2-inch bolt and bolt up through that brace. Take your 1/2-inch bolt, lock washer, make sure you put Loctite on it. We're going to go up through the hole. Next, on each side, what we're going to do is we're going to trim. You can see where I have the line. We're going to trim the bottom part of this shock absorber off. We'll just use a Dremel tool with a cutting blade. Take an 8mm socket. We're going to remove our computer box. We're going to have 3 bolts. One here. You're going to have one on the back side, straight back here, and the other one's going to be up here on top. There is a T30 Torx bit holding the liner in right here. We may have to remove that to get to the bolt, which is back up in here. And we're just going to take it, we're going to set it down just like this, and make sure it's out of the way so it doesn't get damaged. Next, we'll remove the wiring harness from the top of our frame rail. Here. We'll take this bracket here. You'll know you have the right one. This side here is going to be on the outside of the frame rail. And we're going to set it in place just like this. The hole that we just pulled our wiring harness out of, we're going to take a 1/2-inch drill bit and we're going to enlarge that. We'll take our 1/2-inch by 1.5-inch bolt. Black washer, we're going to go down through the hole, like that. Then we'll put our 1/2-inch backing plate on it. Now we'll take our 1/2-inch drill bit. We're going to drill out this back hole here. I'm going to use a 1/2-inch to start it, just to give me the indentation. Then I'm going to use a small drill bit to drill a pilot hole. That'll make this big one go in a lot quicker. Once you have your hole drilled, you're going to take your 1/2-inch by 2-inch bolt. You're going to have a pipe spacer. Actually, you're going to have 3 pipe spacers. You're going to have 2 of them that are the same size, one that's a little bit smaller. You want to use one of the 2 larger ones. Pipe spacers are going to go in between this bracket and the hole. Bolt's going to go down through like that. And we'll take our handle nut through the hole that we cut in the front and line it up with the bolt. And we'll thread the nut plate or the bolt into the nut plate. Once you're done with one side, you're going to repeat the process on the other side, with the exception of removing the computer box. That is only going to be on the driver's side. Next, we'll take a 1/2-inch bolt, lock washer. We're going to raise our main receiver brace up behind our side brackets. We're going to run our bolt through our top hole. Then we'll put a nut on the back. On our passenger side, our washer bottle bolted here. This hole in front of it, we're going to enlarge it to a 1/2-inch. Now we'll take the lower brace. I'm going to make sure that this is facing in. This part is going up towards the bottom of the frame rail. Now you'll know you have the right, correct side. We'll take our 1/2-inch by 2-inch bolt. lock washer. We're going to go through our side brace, through our lower bracket, and through our main receiver brace. And we'll put a nut on the back. This clip right here in the back, we're going to remove that. Next, we're going to line our hole up, hold this firmly against the pinch weld, and we're going to drill a 1/2 inch hole in our front hole here. We use that as our guide. Then we're going to do the same thing here. I'm going to start out with a 1/2 inch. That'll mark my spot, and then I'll go to a smaller drill bit to use it as a pilot hole. Next, we're going to take this backing plate. You can see how the holes are offset. They're going to match the holes on this lower bracket. It's going to go up behind that pinch weld. We're going to have a long bolt like this. We're going to put a flat washer on it. Come in from the inside of our pinch weld, and we're going to go through this very most rear hole. Put a flat washer on the front, followed up with a nut. The forward hole, 1/2 inch by 1.5 inch. We're going to go through from the outside in. Make sure you have your lock washer on it. And make sure you also go through that plate. And then we're going to put a nut on it. The only difference between our driver's side and our passenger side is on our passenger side, this rearmost hole, we're going to put the smaller pipe spacer, follow it with a flat washer, and then the nut. Next, we're going to go around and tighten all of our hardware. Once you have all your hardware tightened, you're going to go back through and torque everything to the specifications and the instructions. Then your handles here, we're going to either cut them off, bend them out of the way. I'm going to take my Dremel tool and I'm actually going to cut them off flush with the frame. Next, our 8mm bolt, we're going to reinstall our computer box. We're going to take this nut off, slide our computer box back up, and we're actually going to go through, run our bolt through it. Once you get your back nut on, just replace the other two 10mm bolts. And on our passenger side, we're going to mount our horn. It's going to mount right here in this hole, just like that. What we might have to do is this tab actually folds up. This is too thick. This bottom bracket is too thick, so you might have to fold that down to get those holes to line up. You're going to have a bolt, nut and a washer in your kit. And then a washer on, and then a nylon lock nut. Take an 11mm socket and wrench, and we'll tighten it into place. Next, we're going to remount our washer bottle. First, this nut here on the back side, we're going to take it off. We're going to take off this fender washer and leave the pipe spacer installed. Just rotate it back down here. We'll reinstall our fender washer and then reinstall the nut. Before reinstalling your fascia, it's a good idea if you're putting a braking system in or wiring, diode wiring kit, it's a good idea to go ahead and do that now because it's a lot easier to run your wires up here to the front of the vehicle with the fascia off. You're going to have some trimming that's going to be required here on the front, on the fascia. It's a good idea to do all that at one time. Once you get that done, then you're going to reinstall the fascia in reverse order from the way you took it off. Now you can see here, I've already cut the fascia out. How you're going to do that is, how I did it is I just slid it into place. I put one bolt right in the top, and I took some side cutters This plastic's pretty easy to cut. Just took some side cutters and just started cutting around it. That way I can keep everything as close as possible and it looks as neat as possible. That'll do it for a look at and installation on the Roadmaster Easy 4 baseplate kit with removable arms, part number RM-5244443-4 on our 2018 Ford Focus.